Moving to Spokane, Washington, and not really sure where to start? Overwhelmed by all of the different neighborhood names and feeling like if you can cross a city in 30 minutes or less that it's all the same? Don't worry, I got you. But each neighborhood really does have its own unique vibe, feeling, and flavor. So we're going to dive right into the top most popular neighborhoods here in Spokane. Hey everyone, welcome and welcome back to Living in Spokane, Washington, your go-to channel for everything you need to know, the good, the bad, the ugly, for Spokane. If you're considering moving here, just stay tuned. We're going to give you all the info you need to make an informed decision. And if you need any help from my world-class real estate team, all of our contact information is down below. As always, reach out. We'd love to help. One of the most popular neighborhoods is Eagle Ridge. Everyone moving from out of town, especially Little California, loves Eagle Ridge. It's super convenient, 15 minutes to town, and a lot of the homes are new. It feels like a more normal, new build type of neighborhood, kind of familiar to a tract home style, but way higher quality. There's 7 different parks and 5 miles of walking trails, all within the community. It's super cool. I think one of the best things about Eagle Ridge is that it meets the commute time for all of the different nurses and doctors that are on call at the downtown hospitals. So if they don't want to live in proper South Hill, where a lot of the homes are older, if they want something a lot newer, then Eagle Ridge is going to be one of the best neighborhoods that they can live in while still meeting their call times for the hospital. Brown's Addition is one of Spokane's oldest and honestly coolest neighborhoods. It's right downtown, and so it's one of the only places that's truly walkable to downtown Spokane outside of Kendall Yards. Plus, if you're a history buff like me, you can find some really old homes that are like 200 years old and are still in operation. Many of them have been broken down into multiplexes, but if you're an investor, that can be a lot of fun too. So lots of really cool stuff in Brown's Addition. One thing to be aware of, though, if you live in Brown's Addition, is that every year there's an event called Terrain. Now, a lot of the locals really love it, me included. It's a multimedia art event, so that's music, art displays, caricatures, all different kinds of artists come out and show you everything that they're capable of. But of course, the entire city descends on Brown's Addition, so there's no parking for miles. Get your cars off the streets and just plan to have a lot of people in your front yard because it's a party. Kendall Yards is actually where I currently live, and it's one of my favorite areas in Spokane. It's also one of the newest districts in Spokane because it was built on an abandoned rail yard that previously no one thought was going to get to be housing. Problem is, it was also on the riverbank, and so are we really going to give up a good view like that? No. Did he just say abandoned rail yard? Who wants to live there? Everybody. Seriously, you need to come check it out. At this point, the abandoned rail yard is gone and you wouldn't know where it began because now it's just shops that line the streets with donuts, umami sushi. You want a nice breakfast out? We've got everything. It's got local shops and restaurants as far as the eye can see, and all of it is walkable. You don't even have to go downtown. Kendall Yards is also a really awesome, eclectic, but pretty much brand new mix of townhomes, craftsman homes, and as it's starting to bleed out into the proper west central area, we're starting to encompass a couple of the older farmhouses and turn them into proper Kendall Yards. Comstock Park up on the South Hill, that's kind of how you know you've made it. It's the epitome of Spokane high class, and so trust me, you're going to have to open your wallet if you want to get into that neighborhood, but my God, the schools are beautiful, and if you've got an upcoming child in lower or middle school, this might just be the place where you call home. Now, is Comstock walkable? Yeah, like if you want to take your stroller for a nice jog. But if you're looking to go to a corner shop or get your grocery run, no, you're going to have to use a car for that. But there's tons of parks, and it's a really safe, easy suburban walk-around neighborhood. So if you feel like you want your 10-year-old to go ride his bike to his friend's house down the street, yeah, it's probably going to be safe. That's exactly the type of neighborhood that you want to move to. All right, we're going to the far northeast corner of town now. This is nowhere near Comstock Park. It's Hilliard. It's also Hilliard Park, but it's not quite as impressive when you get to the park side. This is just a really nice run-of-the-mill blue-collar neighborhood. It's your 3-bedroom, 2-bath houses that might be your starter home. Smaller yards, probably chain-link fencing. You're not going to have a restaurant until you go downtown, but it's a really nice, easy place if you want to break into the Spokane market. Also a favorite of investors because there's a lot of multiplexes popping up in that area. Garland District is right in the center of town, and it's a favorite of a lot of locals to the area. It has the Garland District Theater, which has been in town for a really long time. It also does an annual showing of Rocky Horror Picture Show, so if you live within maybe a couple blocks of the theater, just be aware that October is going to get pretty wild. I think Garland is pretty cool because it's one of the only north side suburban areas that also has an attempt at being walkable. There's some coffee shops, there's some restaurants, there's even a couple of boutique clothing stores, and so it's a really neat district that kind of breaks the mold for the surrounding area. It's got neat craftsmen and some newer homes that are popping up, but for the most part, it's an older hipster vibe. If we keep going northwest, just past the Garland District, you're going to run into Shadle. And Shadle's another one of those up-and-coming neighborhoods where previously local Spokane would have said, oh, there's nothing special there. But it's really cute. It's surrounded by trees, it's well-established, and only 15 minutes to downtown. It's one of the more convenient starter home neighborhoods that you can jump into. And my God, it's just beautiful. One of the things to know about Spokane is that we have neighborhoods that we don't necessarily pay attention to. And that's when something is more important than the actual neighborhood underneath it. The great example is Central Valley. It's not really a neighborhood. It's a collection of neighborhoods in an entire school district because no one cares what individual neighborhood they're in. They care that their kid gets to go to Central Valley High School. And so pretty much if you're in the Valley and you get to go to Central Valley High School, just know that that's making it. That's a 10 out of 10. That's where you want to be. Most of the valley is going to be newer builds. A lot of it was older farmhouses that had big land tracts that got broken up into mini subdivisions. And so you're going to have run-of-the-mill builders that are building higher quality, short-run tract homes. A few customs here and there, but predominantly you're going to get the more traditional craftsman, rancher, split-level styles. Indian Trail is a really popular North End neighborhood. Very popular school district, really beautiful homes ranging anywhere from the $300,000 range all the way up to the $1 million range. So it really just depends on what section of Indian Trail you're in. I really love it. My first home was in Indian Trail, but I really like to be at the front end of Indian Trail because there can be some traffic as you get towards the back end. Unfortunately, that's also where all the best houses are. A lot of the locals say that the north side is kind of like an island, and you either love that or hate that. My family's originally from the north side, and we really enjoyed moving there. Yeah, it took us a little bit longer to get places. Indian Trail is not 15 minutes from downtown, it's 25. But for us, we also enjoyed being 25 minutes out of downtown. You have a little bit more space, you have more land, you get to do more things, the houses are bigger. And so there's trade-offs for everything. It just depends. Do you want a smaller condo downtown, or do you want a bigger house with a big yard for a big family out in Indian Trail? You're also closer to the lakes because you have a nice, easy drive out the north end of Indian Trail, and there's no traffic as you go out to your mountains or your lakes. So, like I said, trade-offs. Just depends what you want. Another really popular north side new build neighborhood is 5 Mile Prairie. It's at the top of 5 Mile Bluff, puts you 15 minutes from downtown, but it's an amazing view because you're right on top of a big flat bluff. And so if you're on one of the edge properties, the views are absolutely stunning. There's a whole school system up there. You got a couple of restaurants that are pretty close by, and so there is a little bit of a community. Unfortunately, the north side is known for being a little bit of an island that prioritizes family suburban life over the urbanization of dense living. So I really enjoy the views. I think the houses are beautiful, but you definitely need a car to live in that neighborhood. 9 Mile Falls is another beautiful North End neighborhood, but it's not quite as new. It's been more well established, and it's anchored by a bunch of older 80s and 90s homes that are all beautifully on the river. And so if you're looking for larger half-acre to acre parcels and you want a little bit more rural lifestyle while still experiencing all of the city charm, 9 Mile area can be really great because you're going to be closer to nature, but still having everything that you need in the city right close by. Hey everyone, so this brings us to the end of this video about all of Spokane's most popular neighborhoods. Obviously this isn't all of them, so if you really liked this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment down below of neighborhoods that you think we should feature in future videos. And please, don't hesitate to reach out. I would love to chat with you about your favorite neighborhood, even if you're not buying a house right now. Give us a call.